Okay, how's it going, guys? Okay, one more tutorial here. At the end of the last tutorial, I realized that I didn't really explain what to do after this phase, and I would suggest that you save this PSD out. So because we've added layers to that JPEG, it's really no longer a JPEG, and we need to save it as a Photoshop document. The difference between a Photoshop document and a JPEG is that a Photoshop document contains these layers, whereas a JPEG squishes all that together and you don't see the layers anymore, and thus you cannot edit elements separately. It's all kind of one piece. So I would highly suggest you guys save this in your folder structure. Maybe you create a folder called in-class tutorials or exercises or something, and you can keep this as reference. So you should do save as and put it wherever you need. I'm just going to put it in on my desktop. We'll call it ducks on water masks underscore a underscore 01 because this is the first concept, first idea of it, and this is the first version of that first concept. And you should have Photoshop selected in your format, not JPEG. Photoshop will keep it with your layers. You see that right there. So save that and put it where you need to. Okay, I'm not going to save it because I already have a version, but I want to show you one more really incredible technique here that you guys should be able to use for your mask. It's a mask technique you can use for your collages. So in this mask exercise images, you should see this crazy hair option file, crazy hair JPEG, and blue brick wall. So let's open these two, and we'll do a slightly different technique. I'm going to grab two JPEGs at once, right click, open with Photoshop. So I'm going to let Photoshop open them both, but do you see what it just did? It opened both as separate pieces, separate files here. And what we're going to do is bring the crazy hair dude over to the brick wall. So let's right click, background, duplicate. Let's rename it crazy hair and put it in the blue brick wall. Go OK. We're bringing that over. So sweet. Now we've got crazy hair on top of blue brick wall. So this is introducing a new element that we need to work with, which is size and scale. So in order to scale things, what you're going to need to do is hold Command and T to get to transform. Okay, Command T. And this is going to give you control of the whole layer here, which it's showing you. So I can't see the whole layer, so I'm going to zoom back. Remember how to zoom out? You can go click the icon, zoom icon, hold Option and click, 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 or do Command minus, and that'll get you back as well. So I am going to grab this again. What you can also do is show the transform controls here. That's another way to get to the T option, but what I like to do is that, and you can toggle that on or off, but I don't like to see that all the time. If you leave that toggled on, anything you select, it will show you the bounding boxes for it, and I don't want to do that. I'm going to turn that off. So grab crazy hair, Command T to transform. So what you can do in Photoshop is squeeze things, which I don't want you to do, but you can do it. I'm going to undo that. So Command T again. But what I want you to do is hold Shift. If you hold Shift while you drag the corners, it will keep the proportions or keep the scale accurate. What you can also do is add Option into the mix. If the second you hold Shift and Option, it's going to keep it centered and resize as needed. So sometimes I'll get it just right and center it and then scale it down before I get there. So once you get it to where you like, press the Enter or Return key and then press Command 0, and that's going to take us all the way in to the document. I'm gonna actually zoom out one click here and resize it slightly again. So Command T, I'm gonna hold Shift and Option and drag it to where our whole guy is inside. This whole layer is inside of the brick wall layer. Okay, what I want to do is mask around the outside of this guy's hair. So if you just did the previous tutorials, using the brush tool would be a nightmare because look at all the fine finesse hair that's coming out of here. You'd have to get the brush really small and literally draw every piece of hair, every strand of hair. I don't want to do that. You guys don't want to do that. So if some of you have a element from one of your found files that you need to mask out, but it's got some really crazy hair or maybe fuzz or maybe some sort of a texture that's really soft, you could use this technique that we're about to get into. So grab the crazy hair layer. Remember, if the layer is on top, it's gonna show up on top here. And we are going to grab the quick selection tool, not the magic wand, but the quick selection tool. So you should see a circle. And I'm just gonna click here and drag around him. So I'm gonna click and keep going. And check it out, I just let go of it accidentally. Okay, and I didn't mean to, but I want to keep adding all this white stuff. I'm not going to actually start here. I'm going to start here, and I'm going to hold the shift button, and click again, and keep dragging until you get up here, and then let go. So now what you did is you started over here, and shift. Whenever you let go, it added a new selection to that previous selection by holding the shift key. So now we've got all that white selected. What we want to do is add a mask to that. And check out what happened. We made a selection of the white background and told that to be a mask, which is kind of cool. It's not what we wanted, but that's kind of cool. So we want to adjust that, and I'll show you how to get to that. So if you have Windows, go to the Properties palette and open the Properties palette. Yours might already be open, but that's how you can get to it. Window Properties, and right here, because we have the mask selected, if we didn't have that, it would show us different content in the Properties palette. But because we click on the mask here, we've got these options that allow us to adjust the actual mask. So the first one I want to do is invert the mask, and you'll check that out. That just simply changes the mask from the outside to the inside, or from the inside to the outside, depending on what you have selected. So already we're kind of to a potentially usable state, but I want to show you the next phase of this, which is ridiculously awesome because you used to not be able to do this. But we want to go to Select and Mask. Click that, and what this is going to do is bring us into the mask refinement. It used to be called mask refinement, but they've kind of put it all together here. But this is where we can refine the mask. What I want you to do is kind of notice this tool. This will become really helpful again if you've got some really complex masking to do with something that's got a lot of detail. This might work for you. So come in and just change your view options here. This is marching ants, this is overlay, this will be helpful here shortly. On black, which is helpful, on white, which is helpful if it's a different style image. This one's really helpful, which we'll get to, black on white, or black and white, and just the layers here. So I'm going to go to the overlay and just click off of that, because that's going to help us see what we're seeing here. What you have the control of doing is letting Photoshop help you find the edge of your mask. So what we did is it was set on 0. I'm just going to go up to like 10 and let go. And you can already see it's starting to grab some pieces here. I'm going to go a little bigger and nice. Yeah, what it's doing now is kind of digging into the hair, but that's almost breaking it up a little bit. So I'm going to pull back. Let's try 40 or 30 something. Okay, so this is just manual drive. You can click and drag around, click and pull it down. What was that? 30. Then what I want to show you is the Smart Radius tool. This is kind of going to help us get a lot of our mask selected here, the Smart Radius. But you can see there's some areas like right here and kind of right here that the tool just isn't kind of grabbing, but we know we need it to be see-through here. So over here on the left, you've got some refinement options, and I want you to choose the second one. What's it called? Refine. Yeah, so this is just a refine tool, and this is much like the brush tool that we were just using. So what you can do, oh goodness, sorry, I clicked off of that. 40, come back to the refinement tool. What you can then do is use your curly bracket left or curly bracket right, just like the brush tool, to make the actual size smaller or larger. And what we're going to do is just paint into those areas that are still highlighted. And you see what it's doing? It's kind of grabbing more of the white. Right there, maybe. There's kind of some stuff under here. That will work. That'll work for us. So if it was painting the wrong way, you might have the minus selected, in which case that would actually bring more of the white back in, right? You see that? So it's adding it back in, pulling it out of the mask, if you will. But I want to add it back in and kind of pull those areas back to dark. Let the mask be tighter on the hair. Okay, last phase is this decontamination of colors, which is, this is ridiculous, guys. This right here is a, used to not be able to do this. So you take a picture of somebody on green screen or something and throw them on a wonderful indoor scene, and all of a sudden you've got this green tint around the edge of their heads or lights, or so this helps with that decontamination. So what it also does is it gives us an option to create a new layer or a new layer with a layer mask. You can also create a new document or a new document with a layer mask. What we're going to do is use the new layer with the layer masks. Have that selected and go OK. So now what we have is a the original here, which was a quick mask, but you can kind of see white back behind his hair, and you can kind of tell he's on top of this brick wall. The original, I'm just going to show you Command J to duplicate and delete the layer mask. That was the original, right? So then we got to here, but then this final, check that out. You see how clean the hair looks against that background? You kind of can't even tell he's on a background at that point. Oops, sorry. So what I want to show you is what that tool did is it kind of gave us some of these glowing edges on the corner that we need to take out. So what we're going to do is just add to that. So I'm going to click on the mask itself, grab the brush tool. Where's my brush tool? And we are going to simply not paint with white. Check that out. I'm adding back into it. I want to paint with black. So reverse it, flip it back, and make your brush a little smaller because I don't want to eat away his nicely masked hair here. And zoom up, click, pull off that right edge. What I also want to do is take off all of this kind of green stuff down here and just leave his shirt. So see if you can click in there and make a quick selection, make a quick painting of that green area. So it's just his shirt here. Then I'm going to do it on this side, kind of round it off. Maybe looks like his shoulders right there. Paint that out. Sweet. Okay, so what we now have, all I did was zoomed back right there, clicked off of it. So I grabbed my V tool, click off of it, zoom out. Now what we have is a dude that looks pretty like he's in that scene, right? Whereas when we first started, he was just on a totally different background. So this refinement tool will hopefully help you make some of your really complicated masks a little bit easier. All right, thanks guys.